Hi, this is Maureen, and I am going to get started with my May bullet journal. So thank you for joining me, and we are going to jump right into this. So for the May bullet journal, I am using my Dragonfly Garden stamp set from Stampin' Up. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and this is one of the stamps that we sell. Along with the Stampin' Up Dragonfly Garden stamp set, I'm going to be using some Memento ink. I'm going to be using some of our ink pads. We have Daffodil Delight, Parakeet Party, which is a new in color, and then Just Jade, which is leaving as an in color. Along with that, I'm going to use some brushes. Now, Stampin' Up does sell brushes that look like this. I'm not going to use this one because it's too big. So I am actually going to use some other brushes that I got off of Amazon because I need a smaller size. So I'm going to use these, and I think that's it. I'm going to jump right on in there. So after looking at my micron markers, I decided to get started by stamping out my dragonflies. I'm going to stamp 2 dragonflies on my cover page and then create a box around where I want to write my title May. First, I just went in with 1 line and decided that 3 lines made it look a bit better. So I added more lines to have that look a bit better. Next, I'm writing out the month of May. My first marker ran out of ink, so I grabbed another one. And here I'm going to start coloring in my dragonflies. And this is the best part of my May layout. I'm using the daffodil ink to ink up my dragonfly's wings, and then I'm grabbing some Parakeet Party, and I'm going to dab right in the center of that wing with my Parakeet Party, that really bright green. And then I'm going to grab my Just Jade ink, which is a deeper green, and I'm going to ink up the dragonfly's body. And then I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to add some of that Just Jade to the tips of my dragonfly's wings. And that adds a nice gradient of color. So it starts off with that yellowy Daffodil Delight and goes into green, and then to my Just Jade, darker green. Now I wanted to add some color, so I am going to use my Stampin' Up brush after all, and I'm going to add some color in there with the month of May, because I think it helps it to pop a little bit and stand out. So I like the way that looks. I have a quote that I'm adding to the bottom of the page. It says, "May good things grow all year long." So now I'm going to get started with my calendar, and I'm using my vintage numbers in alphabet wood stamps. These can be found at Amazon, and I'm going to link them down below. But first off, I'm using my Parakeet Party marker, and I am creating a line for my heading, or where I'm going to put the dates for the month of May. And this Parakeet Party bright green ink is just so pretty. I love the way it just pops on the page, and it's so happy. I love making my journal it makes me feel happy, and I love showing that happiness with how I decorate my bullet journal. So I'm adding a dragonfly at the top, and then I'm going to add one. Actually, I'm going to add some butterflies, and then I'm going to add another dragonfly down at the bottom. So that kind of balances out the page, having one at the top and then one at the bottom. Here I'm using my micron marker, my 0.03, and adding the dates along the strip of green that I created there. And I'm going to write the month of May at the top, and I'm going to pull in those alphabet stamps and put the date of the week at the top there. And I love using different fonts on a page. I think it just gives it a lot of variety when you look at it. You have your hand lettering, and then I have my stamps, and it just pulls it all together, and I think it looks lovely. I am now coloring my dragonfly. I started off with the wings in yellow, and then I'm adding that Parakeet Party with that vibrant green, and then lastly the Just Jade ink, which is that deeper green, for the tips of the butterfly's wings. And at first I was stamping off when I was inking in the wings, but I decided not to. I decided to go full color in there, and I really love the way it looks. So next I'm pulling out my Melon Mambo and I'm coloring the flowers. And I know, true, those aren't the actual colors that those flowers are supposed to be, but I just like to have a good time. And I like to let my page just reflect happiness and vibrant colors. And so I just wanted to make it a pinky color. So that's what I did. At the top of the page, I decided to add a little bit of interest by pulling out that Stampin' Up! Brush again and adding yellow to the top and highlighting around the top and the sides. So next, I'm moving on and I'm going to create my gratitude page, my gratitude log, or my one line a day. And here I'm using a new marker that I have. It's called a Mangaka flexible marker. It's a zig marker and it's pretty thick, but I love the way it looks. So here I'm pulling out those alphabet stamps again, and I'm stamping one line a day right across the page. So again, I have my lettering, and then I have my type print using the alphabet stamps to create one line a day. I am going to bring my dragonfly in and have him kind of come in hanging. He's hanging off the page a little bit, and I think that makes it look nice too. When you're stamping, you don't want everything to be perfect. It's nice to have some things partially on the page, so that's why my dragonfly is sticking off a little bit, and my flowers are sticking off a little bit. So for my one line a day, I've numbered the page from 1 to 30 so that I have a line for each day of the month. And I'm stamping my dragonflies in there, and I decided to stamp them both together. And it's easier to just stamp on one and color on one and then color on the other one. It's just easier to do them at the same time. And it's kind of fun as well too. So I'm adding that Just Jade to the tips. You can see it's like, I love the ink. You can see it dry. You can see it going on nice and wet, and then it dries really quickly. And I'm adding Just Jade to the body of my dragonfly as well. And now it's time to color those flowers in some more. And there are so many flowers. I loved coloring those in. It was a lot of fun. And then that Just Jade kind of pulls it all together and adds a nice look. So I am using my Parakeet Party to create lines. I'm going every other line so that when I write my gratitude line of the day, my one line a day, I can stay on the line. I know that I'm on green one day and then I'm on the blank line the next day. On the right side, I'm doing a new setup. This is called Simple Things. And I got this from Roxa. She's Reflect with Roska is her website. And I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I think she's an amazing bullet journalist. She talks a lot about mindfulness. And so this page is all about thinking about simple things that you can do to find happiness, to find your joy. And so one thing that I wrote is eat lunch outside while listening to an audiobook. And that's something that I want to make sure that I do, that I take a moment just to take time and, really appreciate my surroundings and appreciate being here on this planet. And so maybe I should really just eat the lunch outside and not listen to an audiobook, but just really take in the sounds and the smells of outside. So I'm adding some yellow to the top, and I'm going to add more things in for my simple things. I just didn't do that yet. So on my next page here, this is my dashboard. And this dashboard, I started doing this at the end of last year. I got it from another person who does bullet journaling, but I don't remember who, because quite a few people do it now. But with my dashboard, it's a way of kind of planning out your month, the things that you need to do for the month, and it's a great place to go back and check so you don't have to write it every single week. You can write the things here and you can transfer them over to a particular week if you want. So I'm creating 4 sections on the left side. My first box is going to be for stamping. So if I'm stamping a card for a friend or for family or preparing for a stamping event, because we have stamping events, I write it there. Then I have a section for home, for things I need to do at home. I put that there. And then for shopping, it's not like grocery shopping, but like just some things I might need to get for the house. And the last section is contacts. If I want to reach out to a friend, or, I try to be more mindful of reaching out and connecting with my friends and family. So that's what that section is about. At the bottom, you can see that I created the outline of a calendar there, and that is for my mood tracker. And that calendar frame, and I'm going to pull it back in soon, but that also came from Rosca. So that is something that she created. She creates them with her 3D printer, and she sells them on Etsy. And it's an easy way to write the outline for your calendar. So you can see my mood tracker there, and I'm filling in the emotions for how I'm going to be tracking my mood throughout the month. I'm adding some dragonflies here. So I have one at the very bottom, and I'm going to do one at the top after I stamp these butterflies. I'm going to stamp another dragonfly on the right side in just a moment. But first I'm adding a drop shadow to each of my boxes. And I'm going to add a drop shadow too to all of the letters for dashboard, because it just makes the letters pop out, and it makes the box pop out when you have a drop shadow. So I am coloring in my dragonfly, getting all the greens for the tips of the wings, and I am checking back with so I'm looking at how I usually do my currently page, and I usually don't put it on with the dashboard, but I decided to just kind of combine them for this month and see how it goes. So I'm stamping my currently page here on the right side of my dashboard page, and it's really about things that I am currently doing. This is also something from Rosca. So I will write down what I'm currently watching, what I'm currently reading, what I'm currently enjoying, and what I'm currently thinking. And here's the frame that I talked about from Rosca, where she has the months, and you can just trace around, and it helps you to get the month. You can have a Sunday start for the month or a Monday start. So I purchased the Monday start because that's how I like to track with my calendars. And so I'm stamping, coloring in another dragonfly at the top right. I have his wings there, and now I'm going to add my parakeet party to the middle of the wing. And then last, I'm going to pull in my Just Jade and get the tips of the wing. And once those tips are done, I'm going to stamp or color in the body of the wings there. I'm also going to highlight my currently titles. So for what I'm watching, reading, enjoying, and thinking, I'm going to add a highlight to that after I add some yellow to the top of this page. Again, I want to make all of the pages consistent, so that's why I have yellow at the top of this page, just like the other ones. And before I go to the next page, I get another thought. I think I should add something to the right. So I pull out those flowers and I stamp that right on the right side and add some color to that. And now my page looks balanced out. Before that, it wasn't as balanced, and now I like the way it looks. Adding my green, Just Jade, and my Melon Mambo. And lastly, I am coloring in my butterflies before I move along to the next page. So now it's time to set up my weeklies. I am going to put 2 weeklies. I'm going to have one weekly on one side and one on the other. And I'm starting off by stamping the word tasks here using those alphabet stamps, and I'm going to stamp that on the right side as well. Under tasks, I'm going to list out the things that I want to get done that week. So those are things that are not day specific. I'll put them there. And then in the center section where it says events, those are things that are day specific or even time specific. So like if I have a meeting on 9:30, a meeting on Monday at 9:30, then I would put that under events. But if I need to wash clothes, I would put that under tasks. I mean, that's not what I'm going to put there, but you get the idea. Different things that I need to complete. So I'm creating my box for my events, and I am having them in sections of 5. So going down every 5th dot, I am writing a line over. I'm going to do the same thing on the right side, but on the right side, instead of leaving open the days of the week, I closed it by accident. So now I'm getting my correction tape to open that up so I can write the numbers there. And I'm using my parakeet party to just highlight that a little bit and color it in, and it will make those dates pop. Now, it's time to color my dragonflies again, and I'm going to color those wings, and I'm going to color in where I wrote the word tasks on my banner and add some lines under that, and that'll make it easier for me to list my tasks for the week. And remember, I have 2 weeks there. And this will just put everything together, and I can actually, it'll be easier for me to see one week to the next as I add things for my tasks and then also for my events. And there I go, finishing up my dragonflies and putting in that green for the body as well. And at the top, I'm writing May using my so I'm using my mangaka flexible marker. That it's a zig marker, and I just got that, so it's something that's new to me. I also used those alphabet stamps again to put the days of the week there, and you can see how I wrote those down, or actually I stamped those down the page. And I'm going to finish it up by putting all the dates in there, and I'm going to put some more yellow at the top. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create my May plan here, with my dragonfly theme. I'm going to link at the bottom of the products that I used, and also I'm going to put a link to my Stampin' Up website below. So I'm also going to link my Stampin' Up Facebook page so you can see how I also use my stamps to make cards. So happy stamping and happy planning. Thanks for joining me. And I hope that you will join me again when I stamp for June. And here's my final flip through. See you next time.